For more about the situation in Afghanistan, we're joined once again tonight by the noted national security analyst Anthony Cordesman, who is with the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So today, as we mentioned, was the deadliest day for NATO troops in Afghanistan in a 2-month period. Are we seeing more casualties, do you think, because the mission is changing?
It's not simply the mission. We are intensifying the level of combat. You are attempting to secure populated areas, not simply find the Taliban in limited clashes. So what you're watching is a different type of tactical activity, and at the same time the Taliban has changed because it's now conducting winter campaigns. It doesn't pause or cut back simply because of the seasons.
What do you expect then going forward?
Well, what we're watching is a fundamental shift towards a population-centric strategy. And what that really means is there are about 42 major populated clusters in Afghanistan. Some are already secure, some are dominated by the Taliban. So you're going to see a refocus, not only in U.S. but NATO forces, and in the aid efforts, and in the efforts by the Afghan government and forces. That's going to develop over the course of the coming year. It won't be sudden, and a lot of the changes will begin in the spring and summer. But it's going to be more intense fighting, and the casualties you've referred to are inevitably going to rise before they drop.
Now, there were reports that the Obama administration is unhappy with the Pentagon because the troop surge is taking longer than expected. How do you think that the surge is going, and do you anticipate that it will pay off in any kind of meaningful way?
Well, we've already seen progress where we have shifted tactics, where we haven't just gone after the enemy, but we've sought to protect the Afghan people, where we've given them lasting protection, helped with governance and helped with aid. We create stable areas, areas the Taliban can't get back into. And we gradually push them out of areas where they've had influence in the past. Now, whether we can do this on a national basis, whether we can do it in the worst areas, in the border with Pakistan, that's not yet clear. But we're going to know over the coming year whether these tactics work and whether this war is really winnable.
Some people have said in the past few weeks that we're fighting the wrong war, that the threat from al-Qaeda is much greater in places like Yemen and Somalia than it is in Afghanistan. What do you think? Do you agree?
I don't agree at all. I think people are basically reacting to the headlines. We've been dealing with the threat from al-Qaeda and radical movements in Yemen for more than a decade. It's basically been a problem even before the attack on the USS Cole. Radical Islam inside Somalia is not dominated by al-Qaeda. The movement is tied to al-Qaeda, but it is certainly not an al-Qaeda movement. What we've known ever since 2001 is this is a regional threat. It's not in one country, and it's not one leader. So when people suddenly discover yet again that this is much more complex than one war in one place, and then focus on the latest threat, they don't help.
Okay, Anthony Cordesman, thank you very much for joining us.
A pleasure, thank you.